Hi, I'm Tyler Deren. I'm a software developer, and I like to build interactive media specifically. So I like to build video games. My last project was called Shadows of Atom. We built that using HTML5 tech stack, which is fairly uncommon for a commercial game, and it caused a lot of problems for us. The engine we used was called Impact.js. It's a HTML5 canvas-based API game engine we used, and we kind of built on top of that. We got the funding mostly from Kickstarter. It was kind of half Kickstarter, half out of pocket. We ran that in January 2016. We were successful February 2016. We got the release February 2017, and it was reviewed very well. And the DLC was actually released yesterday, on Tuesday. So we published the game on Steam. So steampower.com, I believe, is the URL. Shadowsofatom.com is our official site. We also partner with the Humble store, and we also have a Humble widget, so we sell directly that way. So we enjoyed using Kickstarter, except running a Kickstarter campaign is such a full-time job. You have to always be on the ball. People always message you. And at the time, it was great for us. We had 5 members. We kind of had 24/7 support on the Kickstarter, because we could just divvy up the time 5 ways, which is nice. Smaller teams is not really an option, but if we were to do it again, we probably would do the Kickstarter route again. You build fans that way. You communicate with the community that you want to build with, and it's a great tool to expand both your brand and to make more customers be aware of you. So for the communication, at the time we used Skype, and then we moved to Slack for many reasons. For Git, we use Git for our version control with GitHub. Communication was all Slack, and sharing files was Google Drive. We also had our own file server with FTP we use for bigger files we didn't want to use Drive for. And then website, we have our own server we host. It's a VPS on a dedicated server. The engine, the level editor is called Weltmeister. It means victory in German. And it's basically the default level editor that Impact comes with, but we had to rebuild a lot of it to suit what we wanted to build. We wanted to build a classic Japanese themed RPG role-playing game, but we wanted to remove all of the cruft and only focus on the things that really make sense and to respect our players' time. So one thing we really did is a big inspiration was Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. When it was released in North America, it was pretty panned. It wasn't really well received, but it had a lot of interesting things it did well. One of them is the battle system. It had this very exaggerated, massive enemies on the screen, and you have this tiny little player character, but you can do a lot of cool magic attacks and skill effects. So our visual for the battle system was entirely modeled off of that. So we use a 16-bit art style. We want to be very colorful. I think we have 32 colors for a color palette, and we have different palettes for effects, different palettes for enemies and actors. So we have 5 core team members plus many contractors. The core team members, we all met basically through a common source. We all used to frequent this old RPG Maker community forum back in the day called RPG Revolution. And one of our members was on that forum as an admin. And that's kind of how he met a composer, and then they decided they wanted to make a game together. Started making it. Then they wanted to make they wanted to improve the art style, so they contacted their old artist friend they had named Tim, who worked at Zynga for a while. So then he joined the project to kind of direct the art. He wasn't planning on building it. He just wanted to direct the contractors we hired. So then we did that. After that was done, they wanted a writer because the plot wasn't that great. So it was just someone they knew through mutual connections. He made a game before called The Way, which is pretty popular in 2002. So he joined as the main scriptwriter and level designer. And then there was only one programmer, and at the time I was kind of helping them because at the time I had a lot of experience using Impact as the engine, and I was helping them kind of on the side. They would just message me on Skype, like, hey, Tyler, how should we do this? We have this problem, how can we solve it? And then eventually that just turned into, we needed another programmer. Tyler, come help us out. and then I joined the team as the 5th member. So if I could redo it, we would definitely invest the time on tools. We had Weltmeister, the level editor, but it wasn't too great for the building content. So all the content we built in the game was all a notepad, and we basically manually by hand create data. So it was very error prone that way. And we had so many like typos, we couldn't find bugs, spent hours trying to find a bug. It's a typo, right? So we definitely invest the time on better tools. So better tooling, it just makes the process easier for us. It makes a better product, not as buggy, for one. Another thing that we'd probably do is focus on console, especially for this type of genre we're in. Like one of the most common questions we get asked is, when's it coming to console, Tyler? When's it coming to console? Oh, the DLC is out. When's the console release happening now? And with the HTML5 tech stack, that is very difficult to do. We can't just bundle a binary executable and run it on Xbox One. You have to do a lot of workarounds to get something like that running. So if we were to build another project, we'd probably use a different tech stack entirely that is more portable for both consoles, phones, what have you, whatever's out at the time.